Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to create these market bags. They are made of a mesh kind of stitch, and then they have a rim on all the way around the bag and then some straps. So this is just a small bag, but you can make them of any size. The pattern I have for today is this smaller size. So let's go ahead and get into it. For materials, you're going to want some, it's kind of like a twine. I don't know how to explain it, but this is what it looks like. I got some from Hobby Lobby, and it's made from recycled fibers, which is really nice. Looking at this, it's made of 68% cotton, 32% polyester. And what's nice about this is that it's going to be pretty stiff, so that way you can, but also malleable, but it's pretty stiff, so that way when you create your bag, it is going to have some stretch to it, but at the same time, it's going to hold your items. So we're also going to be using a 5mm hook. And last but not least, you'll want a pair of scissors. So let's go ahead and get into how to start this bag. All right, so first we're going to work on the beginning part of the bag, which would be this section here. So let's get into it. You're gonna create a slip knot. And after that, you want to chain 15. Now, if you want a bigger bag, you could chain more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So if you want a bigger bag, you could chain more than 15, but this is for the smaller bag, market bag pattern that I have created. Then what you want to do is create single crochets down the row of chains. So we're going to go ahead and create these. So again, like I said, you're just creating single crochets on down the row. And I'll meet you at the end of this row 1. Okay, so here I am at the very end of the row, and I've got 2 single crochets left. 1 and 2. And now that you're at the end of the row, you want to chain 1 and turn your work. So now what you want to do is go ahead and do the same process. You want to create single crochets on down the row, and we're going to do this for 3 rows in total. So I'm going to go ahead and keep crocheting until I've done 3 rows of single crochets. So I'll go ahead and meet you at the end of the 3rd row. Okay, so now that you've done the 3 rows of single crochets, that should look something like this. What we're going to do is actually chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and turn our work. So what we're doing now is we are working on the mesh portion. So I'm going to teach you this basic mesh stitch. So what you're going to do is single crochet into the next stitch. And now you've created your first loop of mesh. Now we're going to continue this process by 3, 4, 5, chaining 5, and then single crocheting into the next stitch. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into the next stitch. So go ahead and continue this on down the rest of the row. So here I am at the end of the row and we see lots of loops forming. So I'm going to go ahead and do the very last loop in the row. 5 chains followed by a single crochet. So now that you're at the end of the row, we're going to go ahead and start row 2 of the mesh. So to do that, I will chain 5 and turn my work. Now what we're going to start doing is the single crochets inside of each loop. So that would be 1 right here. Now you can do 5 more, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can do the next one into the next loop. And that would be right here. So you continue this process of creating the mesh. Now you can see that there is the row 2 forming. And you continue this process until you have 10 rows of mesh. And when you have all of the 10 rows, it'll look something more like this. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to fold the bag in half. You'll see that part soon. But go ahead and create the 10 rows of mesh, and I'll meet you when you've completed that. Okay, so here we are with the 10 rows of mesh. This is how it's looking. And what we're going to do now is focus on how to do the other side of this bag. So just like we have this, we want the bag to have another portion like this. And so that's what we're going to create right now. So that way we can fold the bag in half and create the straps on the side as well. So we're going to go right where we left off at the end of the 10th row. What we're going to do is chain 1 and turn our work. So now what we're going to do is to create single crochets in each loop. So let's go ahead and start at the top loop. We're going to create single crochets across the row. So as we're doing this, you might notice that, you know, you're scrunching things together, and that's totally what's supposed to happen because it's supposed to be cinched at the top. So just go into each of these loops just like that and create a single crochet. So beginning, halfway done, keep going. And like I said before, this will scrunch together the top of the bag. And so once you're at the very end, what you want to do is chain 1 and turn your work. So you may notice that the bag is starting to round out now because we're starting to create the cinched look. So just like how on this side we had 3 rows of single crochets, we're going to do 3 rows of single crochet again. So again, just working in the single crochets you've just created, and it'll start to come together. So here's how it's looking. Now we'll keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the end of this row, and that's going to be our row 1 of this section. Once you're at the end, you want to chain 1, turn your work, and do 2 more rows. So I'll show you how it looks at the end. Okay, so now that we're at the end of that, it should look something like this. You've got one side of your bag, the other side of your bag up here, and the mesh in the middle. So now what we're going to do is work on the straps. So this is how your bag is going to look if you fold it in half, like so. This is basically your bag. So now we're going to create the straps and cinch in the 2 ends. So let's go ahead and work on that process now. So to cinch in the 2 sides, you want to turn your bag sideways and create single crochets down the line. And now that we've reached the mesh, what we want to do is this. Here, let me try to get closer for you. You want to create a single crochet in each loop, but not just the loops. You also want to create a single crochet in each post. And that is going to cinch things together. So in the loop, and then in the post, another single crochet. In the loop, and then in the post. And continue that process all the way to the end of the bag. One pro tip is to just continue making your tension tighter as much as you possibly can. So that way it cinches the bag together. So like I said, in the loop and in the post. So now that we're done with that and we've come to the other side of the bag, you're going to want to single crochet until the end of the bag. So 1, 2, and 3. So you should see that the side of your bag is now starting to scrunch together. What we're going to do now is turn our work once again, and now we're going to create the straps. So to create the straps, you want to single crochet until the straps are as long as you want. So for this bag, I went ahead and for this bag here, I went ahead and chained until it was about this length. So we can chain about 60. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go ahead and keep chaining. I will keep crocheting until the end of 60 chains. So at the end of chaining 40, you're going to go ahead and attach the strap to the end or edge of your bag. So I'm going to do that now with a slip stitch. Now what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn our bag again. Now we're going to do the same cinching process on this side. So you want to single crochet all the way down the rim of the bag, and then when you're done with that, you want to single crochet into each loop and into each post. Loop, post. And again, you want to continue this process until you have reached the end of the bag. And you want to repeat the steps that I just showed you to create the strap on the other side. You want to chain 40 and slip stitch to close. So here we are having chain 40, and we're going to go to the other side of the bag right here in this corner, and once again slip stitch. And now that you've done that, your bag is basically completed. So if you want to take both straps, fold the bag in half. Your bag is basically completed. However, a nice finishing touch is to create a couple more rows so that way the sides of the bag match the front of the bag, the top of the bag. So what you'll want to do that is basically just go in one more row all the way around with single crochets on the straps and single crochets around the edge of the bag. So I'll go ahead and show you that. So we've already done all of this. We're going to chain 1, single crochet where you've already been single crocheting along the side of the bag. Now that everything's cinched, it should be much easier to single crochet. So here we are at the end of the bag. I've gone around the entire bag and created both straps with the single crochets, and I have created the border along the sides of each side of the bag. So now I'm going to go ahead and just create a slip stitch to end things off, and I'm going to leave a tail for sewing. And that is the completion of the bag. So you can just weave in this end, but I'll go ahead and show you how the bag looks now. So we've got your straps, we've got the border, and now we've got a little edge on the sides of the bag as well. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Please leave a like and subscribe for more tutorials like this one, and I'll see you then. Bye!